I'm about to share something that transformed my life at 72 years old and sounds almost too simple to be true. I eliminated 7 specific foods from my diet, and within 90 days, my chronic inflammation, debilitating joint pain, and autoimmune symptoms that had plagued me for 15 years completely reversed. I know what you're thinking. Just changing foods cured inflammation? That sounds like an exaggeration or wishful thinking. That's exactly what I thought when my rheumatologist first suggested it. But I'm Beverly Martinez. I'm 72 years old. I live in Tampa, Florida, and 3 months ago, I could barely walk without severe knee and hip pain. My hands were so swollen I couldn't open jars. I had constant brain fog and fatigue, and blood tests showed inflammatory markers so high, my doctor warned I was at serious risk for heart disease and stroke. Today, at 72, I'm pain-free. My inflammation markers are normal. I've lost 28 pounds without trying. My energy is incredible, and I feel 20 years younger. The difference? I eliminated 7 inflammatory foods that were literally poisoning my body. Today, I'm going to share exactly which 7 foods I cut out, why these foods cause inflammation at the cellular level, what the scientific research says, and the dramatic transformation I experienced in just 90 days. If you're over 60 dealing with joint pain, chronic inflammation, autoimmune issues, or feel like you're aging faster than you should, you need to hear this. Let me tell you my story. My name is Beverly Martinez. Most people call me Bev. I'm 72 years old, and I live in Tampa, Florida, specifically in the West Shore neighborhood near the airport. I've lived here for 19 years. My husband Frank and I moved from New York when he retired from his career as a police officer. We fell in love with Tampa immediately. The beautiful Tampa Bay waterfront, the Riverwalk downtown with its museums and restaurants, Busch Gardens for entertainment, Ybor City with its historic cigar factories and Cuban culture, Bayshore Boulevard perfect for walking and cycling, the mild winters allowing year-round outdoor activities. We bought a 3-bedroom home with a screened pool in a quiet neighborhood. Frank and I had wonderful years here. Morning walks at Al Lopez Park, afternoons at the Florida Aquarium or the Museum of Science and Industry, dinners at Ulele or Columbia Restaurant, weekend trips to the beaches in Clearwater or St. Petersburg. Frank died 2 years ago from complications of COPD. He was 74, and we'd been married for 51 years. Losing him was devastating, but grief wasn't my only problem. For 15 years before Frank died, I'd been suffering from what doctors called chronic systemic inflammation, severe joint pain in my knees, hips, hands, and shoulders, constant fatigue, brain fog, digestive issues, skin problems, and blood tests consistently showing elevated inflammatory markers. I'd seen multiple doctors, my primary care physician at Tampa, general, 2 rheumatologists, an endocrinologist, a gastroenterologist. I'd been diagnosed with osteoarthritis, possible rheumatoid arthritis, possible fibromyalgia, possible autoimmune disease, possible because test results were inconclusive. I was on 5 medications: naproxen for pain, omeprazole for stomach protection, a prescription NSAID, a low-dose steroid, and methotrexate, an immunosuppressant. Nothing helped significantly. At 72, my quality of life was terrible. Every morning, I woke with such severe stiffness and pain, I could barely get out of bed. My knees hurt so badly, I had to use a cane to walk. My hands were so swollen and painful, I couldn't open jars, write comfortably, or garden, my favorite hobby. I had constant fatigue where I'd sleep 9-10 hours, but wake exhausted. Brain fog made it hard to concentrate or remember things. I'd gained 35 pounds despite eating what I thought was a reasonable diet. I felt like I was 90 years old, not 72. 3 months ago, everything changed. I saw a new rheumatologist, Dr. Angela Chen, at Tampa Bay Rheumatology on Dale Mabry Highway. After reviewing my extensive medical history and running comprehensive blood tests, she said something no other doctor had said. "Beverly, I think your inflammation is primarily driven by diet. Before we add more medications, I want you to try a strict elimination diet, removing 7 specific inflammatory foods for 90 days. If I'm right, you'll see dramatic improvements. If I'm wrong, we'll try other approaches." I was skeptical, but desperate. Dr. Chen gave me a detailed list of 7 foods to eliminate completely, no exceptions, no cheating. She explained the science behind each one, why it causes inflammation, and what to eat instead. I committed fully. That was 90 days ago. The transformation has been nothing short of miraculous. Let me share the 7 foods I eliminated and what happened. Food 1. All dairy products. The first food Dr. Chen told me to eliminate was all dairy. Milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, butter, cream, anything containing dairy. I was shocked. I'd been eating dairy my entire life. I had cheese every day, yogurt for breakfast, milk in my coffee. Dr. Chen explained that dairy, particularly from conventional sources, is highly inflammatory for many people, especially those with existing inflammatory conditions. She said, "Dairy contains casein and whey proteins that many people's immune systems react to, triggering inflammation. Conventional dairy also contains hormones and antibiotics that promote inflammation. Additionally, most adults lose the ability to properly digest lactose, which causes gut inflammation and systemic inflammation. Research supports this strongly. A 2015 study in nutrition research found that dairy consumption was associated with increased inflammatory markers in adults. Another study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that eliminating dairy significantly reduced pain and inflammation in arthritis patients. I stopped all dairy immediately. I switched to almond milk, unsweetened from Publix on Dale Mabry, used coconut oil instead of butter, eliminated cheese completely. Within 2 weeks, I noticed less morning stiffness. Within 4 weeks, my digestive issues, bloating, gas, constipation I'd had for years, completely resolved. The constant sinus congestion I'd attributed to Florida allergies disappeared. After 90 days, my joint pain had decreased by approximately 40% just from eliminating dairy. Food 2. Gluten and all wheat products. The second food was gluten. All wheat, barley, rye, and products containing these grains. This meant no bread, pasta, cereals, crackers, baked goods, pizza, or anything with wheat flour. Dr. Chen explained that gluten causes inflammation in many people, not just those with celiac disease. Gluten contains proteins that increase intestinal permeability, leaky gut, allowing inflammatory compounds to enter your bloodstream. This triggers systemic inflammation. Many people with joint pain and autoimmune conditions are actually reacting to gluten without realizing it. Research confirms this. A 2016 study in Nutrients found that gluten increased inflammatory cytokines even in people without celiac disease. Another study in BMC Medicine found that gluten-free diets significantly reduced pain and inflammation in arthritis patients. Eliminating gluten was challenging because it's in everything. I stopped buying bread from Publix bakery. No more pasta from Italian restaurants. No pizza from my favorite place on Kennedy Boulevard. I switched to gluten-free alternatives: rice, quinoa, gluten-free oats, corn tortillas. I started reading every label obsessively. Within 3 weeks, gluten-free, my brain fog lifted dramatically. I could think clearly for the first time in years. My energy increased noticeably. After 90 days, combined with dairy elimination, my joint pain had decreased approximately 60%. Food. 3. Refined sugar and all sweetened foods. The third food was refined sugar. White sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup, anything with added sugars. This meant no desserts, candy, sweetened drinks, pastries, or processed foods with added sugar. Dr. Chen explained, sugar is one of the most inflammatory substances we consume. Sugar causes rapid spikes in blood glucose and insulin, which triggers inflammatory pathways. It also promotes the growth of inflammatory gut bacteria, increases oxidative stress, and directly damages blood vessels and joints. If you have inflammation, sugar is literally adding fuel to the fire. Research overwhelmingly supports this. A 2018 study in Frontiers in Immunology found that sugar consumption directly activated inflammatory pathways. Another study in American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that reducing sugar intake significantly lowered inflammatory markers. I had been consuming sugar constantly without realizing it. Sweetened yogurt, granola bars, flavored coffee drinks, desserts several times weekly, sweet tea. I stopped all of it. I eliminated desserts completely, stopped buying anything with added sugar, drank only unsweetened beverages, black coffee, plain tea, water. When I wanted sweetness, I used small amounts of honey or ate fruit. Within 2 weeks sugar-free, I noticed my energy was more stable. No afternoon crashes. My skin improved, less redness, dryness cleared. After 90 days, inflammation had decreased even more, and I'd lost 15 pounds effortlessly without trying or feeling hungry. Food. 4. Processed vegetable oils. The fourth food was processed vegetable oils, canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. These oils are in almost all processed foods and restaurant food. Dr. Chen explained, these oils are highly inflammatory. These oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation. They're also heavily processed using heat and chemicals that create oxidized rancid fats. When you consume these oils regularly, you're creating chronic inflammation at the cellular level. Research confirms this. A 2012 study in Missouri Medicine found that excess omega-6 from vegetable oils promotes chronic inflammation. Another study in Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that replacing vegetable oils with healthier fats significantly reduced inflammatory markers. I stopped using vegetable oil completely. I threw out my bottle of canola oil. I started using only olive oil, extra virgin from Whole Foods on Dale Mabry, or coconut oil for cooking. I avoided fried foods and heavily processed foods containing these oils. I also started checking restaurant menus carefully. Many restaurants in Tampa, especially along Bayshore Boulevard and in Hyde Park, now offer dishes prepared with olive oil instead of vegetable oils, if you ask. I became that customer who asks detailed questions about cooking methods. Within 4 weeks, I noticed my joint pain improving further. The inflammation in my hands decreased noticeably. My wedding ring, which hadn't fit for 3 years, suddenly slid back on easily. After 90 days, combined with other eliminations, I had approximately 75% reduction in pain. Food 5. Red meat and processed meats. The fifth food was red meat, beef, pork, lamb, and all processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli meats, hot dogs. Dr. Chen explained these meats are highly inflammatory, especially when consumed frequently. Red meat contains high levels of saturated fat and arachidonic acid, which promote inflammation. Processed meats contain nitrates, nitrites, and other chemicals that directly trigger inflammatory pathways. Additionally, the way these meats are cooked High heat, grilling, frying creates advanced glycation end products, AGEs, that cause inflammation and accelerate aging. Research supports this strongly. A 2016 study in Nutrients found that red meat consumption was associated with increased inflammatory markers. Another study in Public Health Nutrition found that processed meat consumption significantly increased systemic inflammation. I had been eating red meat 3-4 times weekly. Burgers, steak from restaurants like Fleming's or Ruth's Chris, pork chops, bacon with breakfast. I stopped all of it. I switched to fish, wild-caught salmon from Publix, chicken breast, turkey, and plant-based proteins like beans and lentils. I discovered the wonderful farmers market at Armature Works in Tampa Heights, where I could buy fresh, locally caught fish from vendors who fish the Gulf. This became my Saturday morning routine, walking the Riverwalk and stopping at Armature Works for fresh seafood and vegetables. Within 3 weeks, my digestive issues improved further. I had more regular bowel movements, less bloating, and surprisingly, my sleep improved. After 90 days, I felt lighter, had more energy, and my inflammatory markers and blood tests had dropped significantly. Food. 6. Alcohol. The sixth food, actually beverage, was alcohol. I'd been drinking wine regularly, usually 1 or 2 glasses with dinner most nights. Dr. Chen said even moderate alcohol consumption promotes inflammation. Alcohol is metabolized into inflammatory compounds. It damages the gut lining, promotes leaky gut, disrupts beneficial gut bacteria, and directly increases inflammatory cytokines. For someone with chronic inflammation, alcohol is working against healing. Research confirms this. A 2017 study in alcohol research found that regular alcohol consumption increases systemic inflammation. Another study in biomolecules found that eliminating alcohol reduced inflammatory markers significantly. I stopped drinking wine completely, not even occasional glasses. This was emotionally difficult, as wine had been part of relaxation and social occasions. My friends and I used to meet at wine bars in Hyde Park or Seminole Heights. I had to find new ways to socialize. I started inviting friends for morning walks at Lettuce Lake Park instead of evening wine gatherings. I discovered that sparkling water with fresh lime became my new special drink at restaurants. Within 2 weeks, I slept better, deeper, more restorative sleep. Within a month, morning stiffness decreased noticeably. My face looked less puffy and red. After 90 days, I don't miss it at all, and my friends have actually commented on how much clearer and brighter my eyes look. Food. 7. Nightshade vegetables. The 7th and final food was nightshade vegetables. Tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, bell peppers and hot peppers, and eggplant. Dr. Chen explained that nightshades contain compounds called alkaloids that can trigger inflammation in susceptible people. Nightshades contain solanine and other alkaloids that some people's immune systems react to, causing joint pain and inflammation. Not everyone reacts to nightshades, but for those who do, eliminating them can dramatically reduce symptoms. Research on nightshades is more limited, but clinical evidence is strong. Many arthritis patients report significant improvement when eliminating nightshades. I had been eating nightshades daily, tomatoes in salads and sauces, potatoes regularly, bell peppers frequently. Eliminating them was challenging because they're in so many foods. I stopped eating tomato-based sauces. No more marinara pasta, no salsa, no bell peppers, no white or sweet potatoes. This was particularly hard because I love Cuban food. So many dishes at Columbia Restaurant feature peppers and tomatoes. I had to get creative with substitutions. Within 3 weeks without nightshades, my hands felt noticeably better. Less swelling, less pain. I could make a fist without pain for the first time in years. After 90 days, combined with all other eliminations, my joint pain had reduced by approximately 85%. What I actually eat now, my typical day. People always ask me, if you eliminated all those foods, what do you actually eat? Let me share my typical day of meals, all prepared at home in my Tampa kitchen. Breakfast is usually a smoothie, unsweetened almond milk, frozen berries from Publix, a handful of spinach, ground flaxseed, and a scoop of plant-based protein powder. Sometimes I have gluten-free oatmeal with blueberries, walnuts, and cinnamon. Lunch is typically a large salad, mixed greens, cucumber, carrots, avocado, chickpeas, or grilled chicken, olive oil, and lemon dressing. Or sometimes I have leftover dinner, quinoa with roasted vegetables and black beans. Dinner might be baked wild salmon with roasted broccoli and cauliflower and brown rice, or grilled chicken breast with roasted Brussels sprouts and sweet potato. I reintroduced sweet potatoes after 60 days and didn't react. Or turkey chili made with ground turkey, kidney beans, and spices. Snacks are fresh fruit, raw vegetables with hummus, a handful of unsalted almonds or walnuts, or rice cakes with almond butter. I meal prep on Sundays. I cook large batches of quinoa, brown rice, roasted vegetables, grilled chicken, and bean dishes. Having healthy food ready prevents me from making poor choices when I'm tired or hungry. The 90-day results, dramatic and documented. After 90 days eliminating these 7 foods, my transformation is dramatic and medically verified. Dr. Chen repeated comprehensive blood tests at Tampa Bay Rheumatology. My C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of inflammation, dropped from 8.2 mmol to 1.1 mmol. Normal is under 3.0. My erythrocyte sedimentation rate, ESR, dropped from 42 mmHg to 12 mmHg. Normal is under 20. These are massive improvements that Dr. Chen said she rarely sees without aggressive medication. Physically, my joint pain has decreased 85%. I walk without a cane. In fact, I now walk 3 miles daily on the Tampa River Walk. I garden again. I spent 3 hours yesterday working in my backyard planting tomatoes, which I can't eat but love growing, and herbs. My hands work normally. I open jars easily, write without pain. And I've even started doing watercolor painting, something I gave up 5 years ago because my hands hurt too much. Morning stiffness is minimal, maybe 5 minutes instead of 2 hours. I wake up and can immediately get out of bed and move normally. Energy is incredible. I sleep 7 hours and wake refreshed instead of exhausted. Brain fog is gone. I'm sharp and focused. I read books again, do crossword puzzles, have meaningful conversations without forgetting words mid-sentence. I've lost 28 pounds, from 187 to 159 pounds at 5'7", without trying, counting calories, or feeling hungry. My clothes fit better. People tell me I look 10 years younger. Dr. Chen discontinued 3 of my 5 medications. I'm off the steroid completely, off methotrexate, off the prescription NSAID. I'm still on omeprazole, but we're working on eliminating that too. I occasionally take naproxen if I overdo activity, like when I spent 4 hours gardening last week, but I rarely need it. Practical tips for making these changes. If you're inspired to try this elimination approach, here are practical tips from my experience. Start gradually if needed. I went cold turkey, eliminating everything at once, but you could eliminate 1 food category per week if that feels more manageable. Clean out your kitchen completely. I went through every cabinet, refrigerator shelf, and freezer and donated or threw out anything containing the 7 foods. Having them in the house makes it too tempting. Find good alternatives. I discovered amazing dairy-free cheese alternatives at Whole Foods, delicious gluten-free bread at Fresh Market on Dale Mabry, and incredible plant-based protein options at the Saturday morning farmers market at Armature Works. Plan and prep meals. I spend Sunday afternoons cooking for the week. This prevents falling back on old habits when I'm tired. Read every label. You'd be shocked how many foods contain hidden dairy, gluten, or sugar. I've become an expert label reader. Find supportive community. I joined a Tampa area Facebook group for people with autoimmune conditions eating anti-inflammatory diets. The support and recipe sharing has been invaluable. My message to you: if you're over 60, dealing with chronic inflammation, joint pain, autoimmune issues, or feel like you're aging too fast, please consider trying this elimination approach. Eliminate these 7 foods strictly for 90 days. All dairy, all gluten, all refined sugar, all processed vegetable oils, all red and processed meats, all alcohol, and all nightshades. Give your body a chance to heal. I'm 72 years old. 3 months ago, I was disabled by pain, using a cane, taking 5 medications, and feeling hopeless. Today I'm pain-free, active, off most medications, and feel 20 years younger. Food made the difference. Not expensive treatments, not more medications, just eliminating inflammatory foods and eating real whole foods. If this story resonates with you, please leave a comment below. Are you dealing with chronic inflammation or joint pain? Have you tried elimination diets? What questions do you have? What's holding you back from trying this? Let's start a conversation and support each other. Hit that subscribe button for more honest conversations about women's health, inflammation reversal, nutrition wisdom, and practical solutions that genuinely work for people over 60. Drop a like if this was valuable. It helps others who are suffering find this life-changing content. Share this video with anyone you know dealing with chronic pain, inflammation, or autoimmune issues. Remember, it's never too late to transform your health. At 72, I'm living proof. Food is medicine. Food is also poison. Choose wisely. Your body will thank you.